Hi and welcome to In the Front Row, all things reactions, reviews and interviews. My name's Jamie Lee and today I'll be doing a review of an Aussie independent film called Bosch Rockit. I was really lucky enough to be able to go to an early screener of this, which included a Q&A panel with the writer and director Tyler Atkins, as well as two of the main cast members, up-and-coming actors Rasmus King and Savannah La Rain. It also stars other well-known Aussie actors such as Luke Hemsworth and Isabel Lucas. This movie hit home to me in many ways and at the same time didn't relate to me at all, which gave me an opportunity to open my eyes to the message that was being told, and what a beautiful message that was. This movie had me feeling a range of emotions. I felt nostalgic, I felt happy, I felt inspired, I felt sad, I laughed. I really enjoyed this movie and I really hope that you guys get a chance to check it out. So Bosch Rockit follows the journey of a boy named Rocket who goes on a journey from boyhood to manhood. Initially, he struggles with comprehending why his mum's not around, why she's not on the scene, and he goes on a magical holiday with his father Bosch. Only we find out that it is not a magical holiday, that Bosch is actually a wanted criminal, so they're evading the police. And in turn, Rocket can't go to school, he lives in a hotel and goes by the codename Guru Wilson. Rocket meets a girl who's also struggling with family issues and Ash becomes his first love, but ultimately not his true love, because that spot in his heart is taken up by his love of nature, his love of surfing and his love of the ocean. This is where Rocket goes to find happiness, comfort, peace, security, all the voids that are missing from his parents. As I mentioned earlier, this film really hit home in the sense that it showed off our beautiful East Coast locations, our lifestyle, and even our true language. Because when I talk to people from overseas, they always imitate the Aussie language and make us out to sound like put another shrimp on the barbie and g'day mate and stuff like that. And sure, there are people who do say those things, but it's not really a true representation of how we speak or how we spoke in this era. But I feel like this film really captured that truth and really showed exactly what our language was like back in that time and exactly how life in Australia was back then. Like, it completely captured language that my dad would have used or that like people in my family would have used back in the 90s. For example, mind your tongue. Fucking come on, mate. You gotta go to school. Oh, pipe down, love. You're a crook. Can I have this, please? We're on holidays.
Last one, the cards are broken. Go.
And of course, lots of swearing and lots of C-bombs being thrown out all the time. It showed glimpses of our lifestyle. For example, when we would come home from school and, you know, just hang out in nature and go to the corner shop like the fish and chip shop and order $3 chips with chicken sole and a potato scallop, and it's all wrapped up in like newspaper, and then adding like heaps of tomato sauce. It's just things that we would have done back then, and I think this film really captures those moments well. And there was a moment when Rocket got frustrated with his dad and wanted to take off in the car, and he started driving and then realized he couldn't drive, and he's like, fuck it, and took the bike instead. Like, those are things that people in my family, I specifically didn't do them, but people in my family definitely have done. So it was all really nostalgic, and it was really nice to remember time when life was like a lot simpler. What I couldn't relate to was the parenting, because I was lucky enough to come from a household of two amazing parents who were happily married, very supportive parents. And I had a happy lifestyle. So it was really eye-opening to see from a perspective of a child who didn't have those loving, supportive parents that all children should have growing up. And I feel like Hemsworth did an amazing job at portraying Bosch, a father who became a father too early, basically. And even still, he did everything that he could to be like the best father that he could be. With everything else going on in his life, he really tried his best to give his son like happiness and love that he deserved. He was firm but fair. He neglected but also cared. He was serious but also cheeky. And the bond between him and Rocket, I thought that was really real, really authentic. Their banter was so funny. Their serious moments were really emotional. I really thought those two worked well together and really portrayed that father and son duo really well. Then it dealt with Rocket's mum's addiction and why she wasn't on the scene to raise him. This was also really sad because like basically he's got both parents that aren't really capable of raising him or aren't really capable of giving him the love and nurture that he needed as a child. Again, this is something that I've never experienced, so it was really eye-opening to see that perspective. It was really sad to see that perspective, and it was also really raw and real because it opened my eyes and made me really think that like this is real life. children do experience this. I didn't. I was sheltered and I was very, very privileged, but there are children that do experience this. So it was really eye-opening to see this movie. But on the flip side, it was really inspiring to watch Rockit go on this journey to find his happiness and to find his comfort and find his purpose through growing up and going at it alone, basically. It was really wholesome and really inspiring, that part of the story. So the plot was really beautiful, but the casting was awesome as well. I really felt like the actors were so well casted in this. It featured some really well-known Aussie actors, such as Luke Hemsworth, who we all know, Martin Sachs from Blue Heelers, Leeana Walsman from Star Wars Attack of the Clones, Isabel Lucas from Transformers. Then you have the newcomers, Rasmus King, who has never acted before. This is his first acting role. He's a professional surfer, so I thought he did an amazing job for his first experience in the acting industry, and I really think that he's going to be a name to look out for in the future. Likewise with Savannah La Rain, she was the real light and warmth in Rockit's life, and I felt like the acting between the two was really real, really authentic. Nothing felt fake or forced. And again, she has acted in a Netflix series before, but this was her first major acting role in a movie. So I really think that she's a name to look out for as well. Visually, it was beautiful to watch. Obviously, it featured our beautiful coastline, the ocean, the rock pools, rainforest, like the countryside a little bit with the train tracks and things like that. There were shots of pods of dolphins, there was a whale, there was kookaburras calling at one point, and of course it featured our deadly snakes at one point as well. It just really captured lifestyle, or what it looks like to live in Australia. As you all know, I'm not very good with terminology because I don't work in the film and television industry, but I talk in simple terms, and basically I really liked some of the camera shots or the camera actions that were in this. I really loved the underwater filming and how it captured like the surfing shots. I thought those looked really, really cool when they were filming under the water there. I love the bird's eye view, like them filming from the top looking down and looking at Rockit on his surfboard, or even like looking at the whale from the bird's eye view there. Those shots look really, really cool. And another camera action that I remember noticing, and I thought that looked really cool, super creative, was when Rockit was pretending to be asleep and the camera was focused on him and the emotions or like facial expressions that he was showing. And in the background, Bosch was standing there, but he was like faded or like blurred out. And the focus was on Rockit. And then when Bosch started talking, it was like roles reversed or roles flipped or whatever. And the focus was on Bosch, and Rockit became like the faded or blurred out character. I thought those shots, or whatever you call them, I have no idea, but that looked really, really cool as well. I thought the music in this was awesome. Every time that Rockit was in the water, the music that played like really captured the mood, and it was just so relaxing, and it just really gave you those like surfer vibes. Then of course you had Aussie bands playing in the background. You had Dragons, Are You Old Enough? You had The Living End playing. Like, it just really captured this movie really well. And yeah, using those Aussie bands, everything just fit so perfectly. It was really, really good. If I had to pinpoint a downfall, my only downfall would be that some of the shots went on a little bit too long, like the ocean shots.
Piss off.
And don't get me wrong, there were beautiful shots of the ocean and of the whale, and really trying to capture how beautiful and how relaxing and comforting that ocean was to Rockit. And I get that that was the point, to show all those scenes, but that's the only downfall that I could pinpoint there, is that, you know, maybe those scenes went on a little bit too long. Not that it dragged it out, like it wasn't ever boring, or it wasn't ever like, oh, this shot again, but that's the only thing that I could pinpoint, is that it was a lot of like shots to do with the ocean. But again, I see why that was in there, and I get that that was the point, to show us that that was his home, that was his comfort, and that was his place of security, really. So that's the only flaw that I could pinpoint if I had to pick one. But again, it didn't bother me at all. But if I had to have a con, that would be my con. And I really hope that all us Aussies get behind this film, because I think it's a really great one.
All right, love.
And I really hope that it goes overseas, so people overseas get to experience what life in Australia was like in the 80s and 90s. I mean, sure, not all of us were crooks on the run, but the bigger picture, I think it really captured what Australia was like in that era. And it definitely captured my heart, because I thought it was a really wholesome, like coming of age story about a young boy who goes on a journey to basically go from like a boy to a man. He finds his purpose and becomes a self-dependable, strong, forgiving, and a really likable man. So as I said, I really loved it, and I hope you do too if you get the chance to watch it. If you do, come back to this video and drop me a comment and let me know what you thought of it. And can you also please give this video a big like, and if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel and then head on over to my Instagram and give me a follow over there as well, please. Okay, sweet as, have a good day. Bye.